Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go because we need to talk about will there be another drop for crypto and how hard will it be and what evidence can we find for it to happen. And I think I found a couple of things that hint at a potential drop other than only the time frame, but let's discuss that all after the intro. Good morning, every one of you here out from the little corner. I hope you're doing well and fine, everyone. And if you're here, then just drop a notification in the chat because I think my streaming software is bugged and says that I'm rugged or kind of a thing. So if you can hear me loud and clear, then let me know. Other than that, smash up the like button. Very important stuff to do. And make sure to subscribe to the channel. And I will just launch a tweet here live right now. Crypto morning coffee. There we go. So yo, there we are. Trucking Hank is here. Good morning. G Money is here. GM with the coffee and the charts. Jenny Fletcher is here and says good morning. Hey Jenny, what's up? So let's dive into some good stuff or not so good stuff. Let's see here. So let's listen together first to Jamie Dimon. Because he gave an interview and it's just the right time for some fathers come out, right? Oh, Pro Legendary is also here. What's going on? So let's see here what Jamie Dimon has to say. It only is a couple of seconds.
If that 20 million Bitcoins,
they go to 42.
No, that Satoshi's going to come on there, laugh hysterically, go quiet, all Bitcoin's going to be erased.
I think, man.
How the hell do you know it's going to stop at 21? I've never met one person who told me they know for a fact they take that as...
Mathematically, it can't happen because...
Yeah, but gold's limited in supply.
So is Bitcoin.
And it's been used... so you think so, huh?
I do.
I think there's a good chance that when we get to that 20 million Bitcoins...
They go to 42.
No, that Satoshi's going to come on there, laugh hysterically, go quiet, all Bitcoin's going to be erased.
I think, man.
How the hell...
I just wanted to repeat that again. So he says Satoshi, he means Satoshi Nakamoto, is coming back basically, and all Bitcoin is erased or supply is going to be maxed out and so on. So and this guy is running the world's biggest bank. Now it's funny because Jamie Dimon also was on TV, and he said if he was the government, he would shut down Bitcoin altogether because it was only used for criminal activities. And so he clearly confuses everything with the dollar. But this guy at the same time, right, is running JP Morgan, and JP Morgan just grew its crypto team by 200%. And here we see again, right? So he was recently criticized when he said he would close down Bitcoin if he were running the government while testifying during a recent Wall Street oversight hearing. And here we can see, according to reports, the JP Morgan team currently has 300 employees compared to a headcount of just 100 3 years ago. Reports that Onyx handling transactions worth of around 1 billion per day via blockchain. So they are using blockchain technology, they are using crypto, they are probably making money from Bitcoin investments, and yet their CEO is openly talking against Bitcoin. And I think there can only be one reason for that, and that is to suppress the price pre-halving. T2420 says, I'm ready for a cup of coffee again. Yeah, let's go. I don't know what time it is there, but do that. So that is one thing, and then here's I found that to be funny. Here's the other thing in favor of Bitcoin, right? But they don't really know it. That they just spoke in favor of Bitcoin. So let's listen to that as well for a second.
Are U.S. Treasury bonds still safe to invest in?
Very much so. I think this is not an issue of credit rating. The United States can pay any debt it has because we can always print money to do that. So there is zero probability of default.
Did you guys see the face here when he said that? So, yeah, the question is, are US Treasury bonds still safe to invest? And the answer is basically a pro-Bitcoin one. Because he says, of course they are safe. We can always print more money to make them safe. So basically unlimited amounts of money, they are absolute fail-safe because of that. Well, now let's get to the, first of all, to the chart here a little bit, because the real question of this stream is, will we have another drop? And because of the stream with Ron's crypto therapy, that by the way was really great. I think I learned a lot from him. He's a great guy. We didn't look at the price yesterday. But what happened yesterday is that we kind of confirmed a clean bearish retest here, right? So if you look from where this price action fell all the way through from a failed retest here on breakout, so we didn't really get our retest here because you see, right, we broke out, we went to the moon, we came back down, but we did not have a bounce here where we say, okay, we confirm this level for breakout. But what we did for the downside is we went down, we came up, and we confirmed it twice basically from the downside, this trend line. So every logical every logical thought here would be that very likely we are coming more down right now because of that. Is there something against it? Yeah, some unexpected bullish news can always rip the price to somewhere else, but overall the logic would say that we slowly come a little bit more down, that we go sideways for the next weeks to come. It could be boring, right? Hey Cairo, what is going on? Green Lantern GM guys, yeah, good stream with Ron. Smash the like button. Good morning from Oslo. Hey Oyvind, what is going on? I hope you saw that I gave you the little Olaf, the snowman, because I think your name seems to and you say Oslo, so you're a Nordic guy. So I gave you the snowman. If you want something else for your logo, right, on the intro screen, then let me know. Also, Oyvind, you are not in our Telegram group just yet, so make sure to maybe get in touch with me on Twitter. If I didn't see you, then spam me or something like that, so that I can give you the Telegram group link for Rare Hodler. If you're not a Rare Hodler yet, you might consider becoming one. Yeah, but back to Bitcoin. So in the smaller price range, and this is something where it's very dangerous to keep an eye too much on. I mean, you see, like the lowest time frame that we usually discuss here is the daily. And Ron said that also on my stream, that he only deals with weekly and daily and stuff like that because the rest is too small. So what is dangerous is that we forget about all the year of upwards price action and only look at it from a perspective of that we are down from 49,000 just because we hit a wick up there. But the matter of fact is that we are basically moving sideways. Yeah, and I think it's a good thing, because if we want a massive rally, we need to have our indicators cool off. We need to have everything cool off a little bit. And why could we be moving sideways for a while? Because we have rebalancing happening in between two things that are influencing Bitcoin. And this is the next thing that I want to go to, and that is the Bitcoin spot ETFs. So this is from yesterday, and we will see how the trading for those behaves in the next days. So here we see that that we have BlackRock and Fidelity and so on, and we see here how the stock or how the inflow behaves. So on the first trading day, for example, BlackRock had 228 Bitcoin coming in, and the next day they 10x that to 2.6k, and then 11k, and now they're as of the 16th they were at 16,000. Yeah, and so that was from the 17th looking at the 16th. So today probably we can look back at the 17th, right? And then the same for Fidelity, from 400 to 12,000. And here we saw all of these basically see inflows. The only ones that didn't, where we don't have data, are VanEck and Franklin Templeton. And for Grayscale, we have the opposite. Grayscale had an outflow of 13,000 Bitcoin. Whereas here, there's a lot more going into Bitcoin. Let me show this to you, and let me get my face out of the way. So you see here the change since the 9th is positive for almost all of them, except Grayscale. And I made a video about how I think that the Grayscale outflow is not relevant to the dip. That has changed now. So when I made the video, Grayscale had only 40 million outflow, but now they have you see this here, right? From they had only here a couple of 40-50 Bitcoin, and then here 2,000 Bitcoin. That was not enough. That's when I made the video, somewhere here. But then they had massive outflows, and now they are equal to the effect of miners on the Bitcoin price. So and how and why is that? So there are a lot of people, including Ron's Cryptotherapy, he said it on the stream, there are a lot of people that bought GBTC on a discount in the bear market bottom. So they via GBTC, because GBTC was trading at a discount to the real Bitcoin price, via GBTC people could buy Bitcoin at around $8,000. So there's a lot of profit taking going on via selling out of the GBTC, basically, out of this ETF right now. I don't think that this will be a permanent offloading, but probably the profit taking continues until we see more strength. But we see also that the inflows into the other ETFs outweigh the 13,000 here. So over the 3 days, right? So we have basically BlackRock is outweighing the outflow of GBTC, or if you want to see it from another point, Grayscale is almost neutralizing the BlackRock effect, or is neutralizing the Fidelity. Basically, these are very close numbers. So BlackRock is neutral, GBTC is neutralizing Fidelity. But yeah, are ETFs, that's a good question, Green Lantern. Are ETFs balancing out the pre-halving dip? That could be the case. We will have to see how much miners are willing to sell more and how much is flowing out of GBTC, because right now the BlackRock and Bitwise and everything else, if we say GBTC and Fidelity neutralize, there's still, what is that? Here's 27,000 Bitcoin, and then another 5,000. So 22. So around 30,000 Bitcoin still net positive. But if the miners are also selling at this quantity of GBTC, then it's only a 10,000-15,000 surplus, right? So still the available Bitcoin is dropping. So yes, from that standpoint, if the selling doesn't intensify, you're right, and it would balance out the dip. Here also we can see a little bit the outflows in dollars. So we see day one of Grayscale was only $95 million, but then the next days it was $500 million, and then beyond $500 million. And that was, again, as you see here, evened out by the ETFs in the millions. So for evening out Grayscale here, according to this, you need the BlackRock and the Fidelity, because I think this might include. So here are no dates, right? It says day 1, day 2, day 3, but that might not be. Yeah, that might be only until this day here, the 12th, I think. Yeah, so the last day is not included. But still you see that the ETF is evening out itself more or less. Yeah, good morning, Luke. What's going on? So that is basically it. We have a little bit of difference in the data, but I think the more the ETF is rolling, the clearer it will become. And then obviously, yeah, there are some other news. So this, if you don't look carefully, this could scare some people, because here you see VanEck to delist Bitcoin Strategy ETF. They didn't say what exactly. So on purpose they said Strategy ETF, right? Citing performance and investor interest, and then you have to really scroll down to see what this is. They are closing down their Bitcoin futures ETF because they now have the real ETF, right? So this is the official VanEck tweet. From this news, you could think that they have closed down their Bitcoin ETF. Yeah, so they closed it down after 2 years, the futures ETF instrument. I think they just want to have people to go in the real deal and have the normal Bitcoin one. Yeah. And then obviously the bears are stepping up here and say barely even lasted 2 years. In another 2 years from now, they will be closing down their spot ETFs on low demand. It's off to essentially the same volume start as futures ETFs and will follow its demise. And I disagree with that, but I in general disagree with Whalewire, because Whalewire told their followers also that Bitcoin is going to sub 10,000. So this is a complete, I don't even know who probably that is, but it has 500,000 followers, and it's just putting out FUD content about crypto that is in sequence wrong. And this is something that is really, really bad. And I'm without shooting against anyone specific, but since more than 1 year, there are bear channels out there that talk people that tell people to stay at the sidelines, to do nothing, because the biggest crash in history is coming. And right now they are telling the same story. Just because we are down 15% from a big pump wick that hit major overhead resistance in Bitcoin. So there are channels that told their people that Bitcoin will go to 3,500, that our economy in the world would be on the verge of a 1929 collapse, and that we would see hyperinflation and whatnot, and that this will lead to Bitcoin collapsing to sub 10K, to even 3,500, right? So that, and I have to say, this is disastrous for their following, because yes, you can be a moon boy, and maybe a lot of people have said, oh, I think crypto will go up one more time, but it's a whole nother story to tell around all of this year that crypto is going to 3,000, and then when this happens, you're still saying it, and here you're still saying it, and everyone who's following them missed out on a 160% Bitcoin pump, and missed out on several 100% altcoin pumps, right? Still waiting for the biggest collapse in history, just because someone gambles on the possibility that a collapse falls into exactly into their prediction, and to be then called the king of all crash profits for a couple of years, and maybe gain a massive following because of that. And I think that is risky. Could that happen? Yes, but the chances are so low, right? We see so much strength right now in the market. And I am talking about a drop, right? And when I talk about the drop, I talk about the bearish retest here and the drop, first of all, to this level, 39,000. And I'm not even sure if this will happen because of so much outflows and so much buying, but we are still due a correction on the weekly, for example. We see it. We are still due a correction. We are still absolutely in overheat territory for Bitcoin. We should still reset our indicators, right? So that we somehow look like this before we go into the next rally. And yet there's no guarantee for that, right? That's how much strength there is in Bitcoin right now. And that's how much strength Bitcoin is gathering around the halving times. So speaking of the halving, we see it here once again. Yes, in pre-halving, Bitcoin is forming, going into overheat territory. Here in the previous bull run, that you can see here, where the circle already is in this bull run, whoop, right? Bitcoin price only up, still with a lot of corrections that don't look minimal, but all of these corrections are like 30 to 40%ers. Bitcoin here is overheat, and already here basically cooling off, and then the run already was over. So there's no guarantee that we have to cool off here, right? We could just do as in this run here. See, in this run we could just go like this in the RSI and go for 1 year in that territory and have a run up into 150,000 and then blow off top and then correct, right? Not that deep, but correct, something like this. Yeah, that could be happening. So what do I expect as a dip, to be honest, right? Yes, I will be cautious with my prediction, and yes, I would say 39,000, but to be honest, everything that looks like this is reasonable to me. Yeah, absolutely reasonable to me, down to 35,000 or something like that. And I still say it is weird to me. It is absolutely weird to me that we did not retest this line, that we did not retest 31,000. So I would say in an absolute bullish case, we only come down to 39,000 and the price doesn't even care. The normal medium case, 35,000, and in the absolute worst case, but also very realistic, we come back down to 31,000-ish to retest this line and to be ready. That all has to happen. So the halving is, excuse me guys, the halving is around 97 days away, according to calculation. 97 days. That means for me, there is 60 days left to really correct. 60 days is more than enough to do this. And then we would go into a pre-halving up rally. And then when we are at the halving, nothing happens, probably. And then we go into the next run, or into the real run up. This is also in accordance with the Plan B crypto cycle. So Bitcoin is just on track as always. Doesn't matter if there's ETF or not. And we are still in accumulation phase according to this Plan B chart. And you see here the other runs, right? So we have the accumulation phase, and then we are going in a full-fledged bull market. And the full-fledged bull market is taking up, well, basically that is when the halving occurred, right, already. So we are likely to print 1 or 2 more blue dots at the maximum, and then we go into the bull market stage, like here. And this depends also, if we breach the all-time high again, it prints a little bit more of a bull market dot, right? And then after the bull market, there is a distribution phase. The moment that we see this distribution phase, you can basically sell your stuff, because that's the initial of the bear market. And then there is a real bear market phase in the end of that, right? So here we see big price jump, yeah. As long as the dots are red, we are still in a bull market. Here we see, for example, that we have a little bit of a distribution in between, like here. But overall, what we are waiting for is to print the first red dot on this Plan B chart, right? And Plan B has a lot of let's say predictions, predictive models that are worth looking at, and one of them is the stock to flow also, that I don't know where he last posted it, but basically implies the price. So yeah, it's something like that here. This is not the real stock to flow, but it's based on the stock to flow. So stock to flow divided or by power law. And the thesis here, for example, is that that according to this, you always go back to fair valuation, which is 50K. Interestingly, we hit 50K directly now pre-halving. The prediction of this model is that at the halving, at around the halving, we are at 50K. So even if we correct, the price should be sucked back to 50,000. And then, according to this model, which is a more linear growth model, is like average is 500, 5,000, 50,000, and should be then 500,000. The stock to flow model of Plan B predicts something similar. So will we see a bull run to 500,000 but correct before? That is the big question, right? SL is here. GM Padre, how are you doing today, my friend? I am doing very well, thank you for asking. And SL, how are you doing? Dead Rabbits is here. What is going on? Tuning in from the East Coast, Insomnia. Then I hope that my stream does also not make you sleepy. That is at least the hope for me. But on the other hand, hopefully you get some good sleep. Sleep is important. Then for the altcoins, also this chart. Quickly now, we still have this 90 days until the halving, right? And also here we see altcoins only after the halving do the real big rally thing, right? But in comparison to the last run, we did not have the dip just yet. We didn't have the dip yet. So for the altcoins, big things are coming. I mean, you see this rally here basically means from sub 1 trillion to 8 trillion or so. That is a solid 9 to 10x from the market cap where we are right now. And we can look at this obviously in our charts. Also the altcoins overall, even though there are some altcoins, meme coins that are running, overall the altcoins are forming somewhat like an ABC correction, probably before they are tackling this major resistance once again. So would coincide with a BTC, smaller BTC drop continuation. Overall, yes, as you see here, actually we are only at 200 billion, so going to $8 trillion market cap for the altcoins would be a very big run up, right? It would be even bigger than I predicted here, or my prediction is from the previous run. By the way, we're nailing this right now. You remember when we drew this in, right? We are nailing this at the moment. We drew this in when we we're approaching this overhead resistance. So actually, if we correct like this, we would be forming this to the T. So according to our prediction, we are going more to 2 trillion, yeah. But if we get rid of this, and we say according to stock money lizards, that would be here, somewhere here, 8 trillion, so more or less here. So that would be big parabolic run for the altcoins, but it's not out of the cards. Some people think Solana will pass Ethereum this bull run. In market cap, I don't know, because Ethereum only has to double, and then Solana has still way to go after pumping hard. I think Solana needs a correction first to run off. People are very, very bullish on Solana. I don't know how many X's Solana still has in itself, but yeah. And as Season 3 OG points out, Blur is also a good one. Blur as a marketplace, if you are bullish on the comeback of NFTs, Blur could be a good pick, in my opinion. What's also interesting here for the altcoins is if we go into the weekly, we are also, I mean, look at this, we are way overheat, yeah. The last time that this happened was here, and it also had a smaller correction, and it is at the same time as we are right now, more or less in the cycle before the big run up, right? So everything seems to be playing out almost more or less the same time. Now let's quickly pull in the Gaussian channel for altcoins. Is that the Gaussian? Yeah. So the Gaussian channel for the altcoins has just flipped green, right? There's not much to see, but it just flipped green. It's a lagging indicator, just flipped green because the pump out of the Gaussian channel to above. But this last time that this happened was also here, where I think that we are here. So here, and that is a correction, right? That is a moment where we have a 1 to 2 month correction out of the altcoins. And this correction here was 30%, okay? And here we are right now only at 20%. So if we want to really mimic and copy, we could have another 10% downwards from the altcoins, right? Does it have to happen? Obviously not. But what I think is the bigger picture here is that once we flip green on the Gaussian, check, we have that. Once we pump out of the Gaussian, check, we have that. Once we correct it, check, we are doing that. Once we breach overhead resistance would be the next one. So big overhead resistance from last bull run would actually be not this one, but would be this one. Okay, still way to go. Okay, so we're not there yet, as we were not there yet when we were here. And also, if you want to be very looking at this like previous, I don't know, some bull market support, then you find some line probably that also here, for example, support for that. You find some line that coincides with our current resistance, but let's leave it with that to not have too many lines here. It is very, 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 very similar for the altcoins, right? At the moment. So you guys are chatting as hell, so let's see what you're saying. I've got to say, I am impressed Veve is still managing to sell out some drops, despite being so far from what they were. Yep, absolutely. I agree. And I hope they are coming back, doing better, doing more revenue, so that also there's more action on secondary market. But I think the time is not now. And actually, I brought something to discuss here that actually talks about exactly this for the NFTs. And let's maybe look at that. So it's clearly not the time for NFTs, right? Because NFTs are probably at their worst point at the moment. Yes, we had seen some killer NFTs that were coming back, like Bored Apes and so on. Floors rise a little bit. We saw some strength, but overall we only have bad headlines for NFTs right now. So X removes NFT profile pictures. Social media platform X removes support for NFTs almost a year after its launch. Then, as discussed 2 days ago, GameStop shuts down the NFT marketplace due to regulatory limbo. And then we have NFTs that come back following spot ETF approval. So here is a prediction that later, as Cypher Capital chairman Bill Keehan says, NFTs stand to indirectly benefit from the approvals, as understanding and acceptance of Bitcoin will likely to spill over on altcoins and on NFTs. I think that is true, because I think dealing with Bitcoin ETFs, people that have never dealt with crypto but dealing with Bitcoin ETFs, will lead to people also looking into altcoins, into things that do not have an ETF, and therefore over the cycle, when they see the big returns, finding out about NFTs. So I think that is correct. And then the other thing that is big for NFTs in general is the BRC20, the ordinals growth, because ordinals on Bitcoin will basically be that bridging thing where people are like, okay, we have Bitcoin. I look into Bitcoin. Via Bitcoin, I find the crypto market, the altcoins, but I also find ordinals on top of Bitcoin, right? So there's still ways to go in terms of new people, new adoption in the market, but I think it will come. And as long as Veve survives the next year until that is coming, I think they will then after that do very well, and hopefully they implement Ecomi into the app so that people via finding Ecomi can find Veve once again. That was what was happening before, but unfortunately right now we are at a very dangerous moment for Ecomi. All the gains of that little pump have been wiped out already, and if you see this, sorry, let me just refresh this a little bit. And if we are watching this now, oh yeah. So by the way, this is not a bad thing that the Gaussian is now in here. It did not flip green for Ecomi, right? So we are still suppressed by the upside of that channel. But I wanted to show you something else. So let's get rid of this Gaussian channel. What we see here is, if we go back into the daily, you see this white line, right? Not the green one, but the white one, and this one here, right? And you see that we have, basically confluence here, here for this line. What you also see is this. Okay, that looks like a head and shoulders to me, and I really don't want to have this confirmed by a breakout or so to the downside, because it could get really ugly if it was, right? So yeah, we would see a very, very bad price action if that was actually the case. It doesn't have to happen like that, but yeah, I just wanted to point out that the risk for this exists. If this happens though, it would lead to like if we lose these levels here, it would be maybe lead to another capitulation event or sell off like this, where we probably either, if we drop, get another of these wicks, or hope if this drop is not only a wick but really happening, then we have a problem. But as you see here, we faked out a little bit, but we still are under this green trend line. So this trend, in my opinion, is broken, and that's not a good thing, right? That's actually not a good thing. And we will see it at Crypto XR in a couple of days, if they can tell us something about Ecomi. Because other than that, Omi has extremely bad sentiment. It's probably gonna crash hard. Yeah, unless they bring news for the Ecomi token that is positive, I think that could be happening. Yeah. So many others are falling out of business. Yeah, so we saw this. Yeah, I mean, it's really now a point where we have to think about what to do with Ecomi, because Ecomi just doesn't come back, right? And I mean, despite the narrative not being on it performing so bad is really not a good look, right? Yeah. Great company, bad crypto management. Absolutely, 100% Green Lantern. That is very true. And this is super weird because, I mean, crypto was what inspired them for creating Veve in the first place. And Veve would not be anything without crypto. Like, without the crypto community that was excited about the collectibles, Veve would not be thriving, or would not have been able to make these sales. Dan O says, if you had to guess how likely it is that Ecomi will eventually burn the circulating supply, what percentage chance you would give? It is not a given, no matter what people say. I would say at the moment it's a very low likelihood, because if they would want to have burns, real burns, then they would have implemented something. It seems that they don't want this. Opportunity cost is ridiculous. Yes, Big A, what's going on? Hey, Hodler. Yeah, sorry, regulations. Yeah, that is bullshit, because coins are thriving, even being officially labeled a security, because the SEC didn't go after them. But for example, Chili's was named in a list of what the SEC thinks is a security, still did a 50% pump in the last week. So yeah, the opportunity cost of Ecomi is ridiculous, in my opinion. Absolutely, I agree. And we will see if it can come to the point where they actually implement something meaningful for Ecomi, and I think then the price will catch up. Yes, then the price will look like this, go skyrocket. People will find out about Ecomi. But right now, as you saw, also according to indicators, we are deep in a bear market, and that is for if we look at other projects, it's very rare right now that projects are deep in a bear, right? So, for example, if you look at the last month in the top 200, where Ecomi is not in anymore, there are a couple of projects that are red, minus 50% or so on the month, but on the year, it's there are on a yearly basis there are projects that are down 43, 37%, like Octoken. There is Engine is a little bit down, but nothing compared to how Ecomi is down. Maybe top 300, here we see it. On the year, Ecomi is down 37% because it crashed more than a year ago, right? And I don't know if I can put in a time frame here. No, more than a year I cannot do, right? But there are there are not too many projects that look like this. Borg, Swissborg, XYM, like projects that also have not a lot going for them. What is that? VVS Finance. I mean, what we could do is we could look for Borg, Swissborg. Is there even a chart for that? What is the ticker for the thing? Just to compare it. Borg, yeah, Borg is the ticker, so I should be able to find it here, right? Borg. Borg versus UST. UST, isn't that Tether stablecoin? That will not give a good chart, right? Let me see. Let me refresh here. Yeah, I just want to compare a coin there. That is Metacade. That is has just launched. Borg USD on Bitfinex. Okay, that's not much of a chart, I think. Yeah. Let's go to CoinLore Swiss Borg. Maybe oh yeah, here we see it. Yeah, so okay, so Swiss Borg is another coin that didn't leave the bear market and looks actually similar to Ecomi. The question is what happened to Swiss Borg, right? It looks very similar, but there are not many coins that are in this situation anymore. The burn was supposed to be bronze tickets, correct, and now they came out with no burn and no comment from the team. Yeah, bronze is different from what it was before, 100%. So let me get back here into the screen. Now it's for MCP points and crafting events. Nothing to do with burning circulation at all. The sole reason I got OMI was for burns, how far we've fallen. Absolutely, I agree with you. The only reason that I got into OMI was because I was believing in the OMI utility program article that explained all of the burn mechanics. Because a token being deflationary is one of the strongest narratives that you can have. And the Ecomi token is not deflationary, nor is it a utility token at the moment, nor is it anything else. Orange Glory says, morning, good video with Ron. Thank you very much, Orange. More in energy. What is going on in energy? Lost for who? People who want to sell, not for people who want to accumulate. Yeah, that's true. I mean, you could say, okay, big things are coming. I will accumulate, but the reality is that things throughout the entire bear market and the last half of the bull, everything that they promised did not come. Nothing. So if you accumulate right now, you have to include the possibility that the next 4 years until the next bull run, also nothing of what they are saying is coming, right? So this is a real chance. Whereas other coins, because they did not have this history of telling 3 years of what could happen and not doing it, other coins are now pumping because they either built something or did something, or because they just came out and have a strong narrative and a roadmap, and that's enough for a coin to pump, right? But after 3 years of failing to implement what you're saying you do, you do not have that luxury anymore, right? So that is definitely true. This feels like a funeral service for OMI tonight. Oh man, yeah. Only an opportunity cost for short-term traders. That is also true. Opportunity cost for short-term trader. But if you see, for example, that let's say I put $5,000 into OMI and I'm sitting there now with my dick in my hand, right? While everything else is pumping, I would have been better off to have the 5,000 on the side and put it in a coin that pumps at the moment, right? Big A Energy. What irks me is that the team won't just be straightforward. Everything needs to be revamped, unfortunately, sorry guys. And then cite a few reasons. Let investors know what the fuck is going on and why. Speculators, sorry. Yeah, we're speculators, we're investors, whatever we think we are, right? Orange Glory says, that's it. I also got the feeling more and more OMI has been used for funding Veve, unfortunately, but time will tell. Yeah, I think at this point in time, it's only time will tell. And if I see it this way, even if OMI performs worse than the other coins, first of all, I got a whole lot of community out of that, yeah. In terms of, I found a lot of people that are nice. That is worth something. I get to go to Crypto XR and I hope it will be a great time. I will learn something from it. I will learn a ton from it. Actually, I learned a ton from it, right? For my future crypto journey. And maybe that lesson, even if you lose the $5,000 or $10,000 in the Ecomi token, that lesson will set you up for making big gains in the future, right? You cannot be right all the time. And there are a lot of people that lost money in other coins, in coins that are never coming back and that are dead, right? I mean, Omi is on life support, but it's not dead yet. So I would say that there is something very positive from that. Yeah, so Sergio also pointed out that they are doing sponsored ads, so they are advertising on Instagram and so on. Yeah, that is happening. Here we see, for example, the sponsored story of Marvel Mighties. That is happening. With all that recent FUD, do you have a new OMI price target? No, not really. I think I stick with the same ones because they are more based on market cap than on the current sentiment. I would stick to the bear medium bull, which is like 246 cents or something like that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a very worst case scenario in which we are not going back to all-time high, but this is only if they really do not do anything. So you are not buying anything right now on Veve, Patient Hodler. I bought one comic for one gem, but that's about it. Because at the moment, first of all, I spent some money on going to CryptoXR, right? Then I put some money into altcoins. So at the moment, I did not buy anything on Veve. And if I would save up for a bigger piece, which is still on my roadmap to buy a specific comic. I mean, if you look here, this Nova comic. I bought this for one gem. Other than that, I mean, I crafted the desk. I bought this stamp. I got this inked story. I did some posters. Nothing too big here, only small stuff, right? And the collection is from the last time we looked at it up 100 gems or so, but nothing too big. But I'm chilling with Veve. I'm really chilling because with Veve it's very clear that the narrative's not there. It depends on Omi, integration, and then Omi going up, and then Omi getting people in. Yeah, and Caverna's ready for Vision Pro. When Vision Pro comes out and they can show something that for like Veve AR collectibles on Vision Pro, that would be good. Advertising on Facebook and Instagram at current market won't do much. The best it could do is attract new users. I believe it's better to pay well-known crypto YouTube to promote Veve degens. I think it's not the time just yet for crypto YouTubers to talk about NFTs. You see that they are not doing that. What you see right now is that all big channels are talking about meme coins because meme coins are up so much, but they will not. I think it's not the time just yet. I think for the advertisement part, it's really there's still time. I think what needs to be done right now is the implementation of the Ecomi token. We need that throughout the halving there is something that really brings value to Ecomi. That you have to have Ecomi, and that Ecomi gets deflationary. And that Ecomi gets to bigger exchanges at around the halving or after the halving. Energy says, can't go to France. I have a tooth surgery. Yeah, everyone spends their free time what they like the most, right? No, just kidding. I wish you the best for that tooth surgery. And I hope I find times and spots and so on and internet to report a little bit from CryptoXR, right? Also looking forward to meet each and everyone there that is coming. But with that said, unfortunately I have to jump right now. There are still cool drops coming for Veve that I want to discuss, but maybe we will discuss this a little bit more in a video. With the Laughing Batman and the Matt Gondek drop, but for now that's it. Pro Legendary says, same here. I have a tooth surgery next Friday. It's a cyst. Okay, well, then you can go together, right? Nice. But yeah, I wish you the best. Also, you, Pro Legendary. I hope everything goes well, let's say it like that. So, guys, I have to jump. Make sure to like the video once more. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Tick that little bell to always get notified. And wherever you are on the world, have this great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. I see you in the next Crypto Morning Coffee live stream tomorrow, or in the